It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
Co-creating at its best, yes. We come from non-physical. You are focused from physical, but you are more non-physical than you are physical. Do you know that? Not possible at all to separate the physical you from the non-physical you. You can pinch it off a little, and when you do, you feel it. And you can come into alignment with who you really are, and when you do, you feel it. But you are source energy here in these physical bodies, on the leading edge, powerful creators. So why are you here? Not here in this room. We know you were dragged kicking and screaming here, but why are you here in these physical bodies? What brings you? Why would source energy, the likes of you, choose to project your consciousness into an environment of contrast? What would be the possible reason for that? If you are source energy, and you are therefore pure positive energy, if you are a stream of consciousness that has managed to bring yourself into vibrational alignment with well-being, with all that is well, with source, why would you come into a physical body? What could possibly be your motivation? And we say what your motivation is that you liked the idea of an environment of variety. And as you come forth into this environment of variety, the reason that you come is because you know that the contrast will cause a focusing, and that focusing will cause a birthing of yet a new preference. You know that variety will induce from you a further desire. The entire universe is based upon that. And as that source energy, you also knew that when that desire is born within you, that desire would be a summoning point, that it would literally summon forth unto itself, because you are, from your non-physical standpoint, completely aware of the way law of attraction works. You know that it is a vibrational universe, and you know that anything that you are living causes a refocusing of your personal preferences. You know that you are, above all other things, a summoner unto you. So you said, I would like to project a part of my consciousness into a variety that would stimulate new preferences. And as those new preferences are born, I know that those new preferences will summon unto them. And the evolution of all things is about that. So, in simple terms and accurate terms, we could say to you that the contrast that sometimes you struggle within is the very basis of the eternalness that we all experience, because you cannot stop processing, and in your processing you cannot stop determining from your personal perspective, and that personal perspective therefore summons unto itself. So the eternalness continues. So see it as it is. From some point of consciousness, you imagine something more, and you are so good at imagining it that you bring it about. We'll talk more about the evolution of thought into manifestation later on. So you imagine something, like from your non-physical, you imagine yourself in a physical environment, and in that imagery it comes about, and now you stand in that leading edge being that you imagined from non-physical, but you don't cease your processing, you don't cease your personal determining. You continue to give birth to desires which continue to summon forward. When a preference is born within you, it is seen by the larger part of you, by the non-physical part of you, by the God within you, by the all that is. It is seen to be an important determination that is accurate and valid and worthy of fulfillment. Because no one could choose better what is best for you than you right out here on the leading edge. Even if you are the one-celled organism, you are choosing, and in your choice, Source agrees. So, some of you who have been listening to us for a while may have heard us say that when you ask, it is given every single time. You may have heard us say that there are 3 steps to the creative process. Step 1 is ask. Contrast helps you do that. You don't even have to be consciously aware. Contrast will induce a request from you. So step 1, automatic. Step 2, not your work, because the non-physical source energy is the answerer of what you are asking for. And then step 3 is you, from your physical perspective, must become a vibrational match to what you are asking for. So now we are wanting you to understand that step 1 and that step 2 happens because contrast causes you to ask, and source knows the perfection of your ability to ask and says yes immediately. So you're having an experience where something happens that you do not like. You observe something that you do not like. And in the midst of that, an automatic recognition of what would be specifically better about this specific incident moves out of you. Flows like a rocket. And source, the broader part of you, follows that rocket. In other words, in the moment that at any level of your being, even a cellular level of your being, something is determined that would be an improvement to this leading edge, worthy creator that is you, source immediately becomes one with that request. Immediately becomes one with that request. So now, a very powerful point of vibrational relativity has been established. A new desire has been born, and source has become it. That's why when you ask, it is given every single time. So the only question is, and it's really the question that we talk about all day, every day in these Art of Allowing workshops, is what are you doing with your now human personality perspective ego to hold yourself in alignment with what you have just become, or to hold yourself not in alignment with what you have just become? And when you are doing something that brings you into alignment with what you have just become, you feel wonderful. And if you are doing something that is holding you apart from what you have just become, you don't feel so good. In other words, when you allow yourself to be who you really are, you feel the fulfillment of that. But when you hold yourself apart from that, you feel the uneasiness of that. Isn't that wonderful? You have this guidance system within you that lets you know your vibrational alignment or not. You have to find a way to vibrate in alignment with what you're asking for, because if your signal is not about what you're asking for, law of attraction cannot deliver it to you. If you've got part of your signal saying more money please, and part of your signal saying there's never enough for me, there is injustice in the world, those people over there have more than their fair share, bad things happened in my life and I didn't get queued up for the receiving of money, my part of the world doesn't make enough money, the place that I live never gets enough money, the chips are stacked against me. In that beating of that drum, you are holding yourself apart from what you are asking for. And the negative emotion that you call fear, or the negative emotion that you call anger, or the negative emotion that you call frustration, are your indications of your vibrational relativity to what you're asking for. So we want you, as you move forward forevermore, to be aware of these 2 points of vibrational relativity, because everything that you live is based upon that. Everything. Everything you feel and everything that you attract, everything that you live, everything that you are, everything is about your management of the vibration between those 2 points of vibrational relativity. We like to say lovingly to you that you really sort of live life in the crack. The crack between. In other words, life is always about how much am I allowing myself to be that which I have become. Now, it sounds like we're trying to get you to clean up your vibration just so that you can positively affect your manifestations. And the reason that we are talking in that direction is because we know how much you care about your manifestations. Your manifestations are your life, aren't they? But the real reason that we want you to care about how you feel is because we care about how you feel. We just don't see why you would put up with frustration when you could easily choose joy. We don't know why you would choose an attitude of criticism when appreciation feels so much better. We don't know why you would blame when praise is what is more natural to you. And the only thing we can figure out, well, actually we can figure it all out, but what we've noticed about you is that the reason that you do those things that don't feel good to you is, it must be the reason, it is the only logical reason, you haven't made the correlation between how you feel and your point of attraction. Because if you had made that correlation between how you feel, which is the visceral response to your vibrational mix, if you had made that connection between how you feel and what's manifesting, what your point of attraction is, we think that you would work more deliberately, to focus more deliberately, to find more deliberately things that feel better more deliberately when you focus upon them. We don't think that you would be tolerant of your own lazy focus. And we don't think that you would spend so much time looking at what is. We think you would spend more time thinking about what you want to be. Or, if you are an avid observer of what is, you would become a better selective sifter at what you are observing. You would deliberately look for the things in the smorgasbord that is available to you that make your heart sing when you focus upon them. You wouldn't look at the things that are troubling in nature. Why do you look at the things that are troubling in nature? Because, like Esther watching the Weather Channel, you want to be warned of things not wanted. But that determination to be warned about things unwanted causes you to activate a vibration about the very thing that you want to be warned against, which causes an activation of a point of attraction which puts you right in the path of the hurricane. It will find you wherever you are. In other words, you are rendezvousing with things that are equivalent to your vibrational mix. So this workshop, which we call Art of Allowing, is about allowing yourself to be that which you have already become. To allow yourself to be as wealthy as life has caused you to ask for. To allow yourself to be as healthy as life has caused you to ask for. To allow you to be as clever and as beautiful and as good feeling and as vital and alive, as flexible. In other words, your life is causing you to want these things. And Source is saying, you're right, you're absolutely right, you should know, you're right there. You've sifted through the data, you are the one sifting, it's your life you're creating. You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. Here's the process, here's the path, here's the way, here's the circumstance, here's the event. It's all lined up for you, it's all there for you. And if you're over here saying, where is it? It's not coming, it's been so long, I'm so tired of this, then you just hold yourself in vibrational limbo as you continue to complain, as you let what is be the basis of your vibration instead of letting your guidance take you to the basis of your vibration. And so, doesn't it seem like your real work is about getting in touch with the way you feel so that you can utilize the guidance that is within you so that you can tell which is the right direction? So as we were saying just a little bit ago, there's not a computer big enough in this universe to calculate all of the components of all of your desires and all of your beliefs in relationship to them. There's just too much. But you have guidance within you that is calculating it in every moment. So much so that every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you offer is evaluated and you're getting instant feedback to know your direction. It is the most incredible gyroscope, the most incredible navigational system that is ever imaginable, and it is within you and it is active and working for you in every day. But you gotta care how you feel, and you gotta know what how you feel means, and you gotta understand that if you don't feel bad, you're moving towards something that you will like when you get there, and that if you do feel bad, you're moving towards something that you're not gonna like when you get there. You just gotta get those simple elements in place. You gotta care how you feel. Now, having said that, we want you to care how you feel. We just don't want you to beat yourself up about how you feel. We don't want you to feel bad about feeling bad. We want you to feel glad that you know that you feel bad. We want you to feel glad that you are aware of your guidance, because now you've activated your awareness of which way is the way you want to go. When Jerry and Esther are in Yuma or out there in the desert, they're not mad that they're not in San Diego, because they know they're on their way to San Diego. And so even though they're not where they want to be, they haven't reached their destination, they're not mad, they're just aware that they're not there. And that's what your emotions mean to you. They are not the basis with which you club yourself over the head and pronounce yourself unworthy. They are the basis. They are the basis. They are only the basis. Let's see if we can be really clear about this. They are only the basis that determines the direction of your movement.